Our name stands for New Era, so a new era for insurance. We were the first to pilot the Nude Solutions technology, and we are property insurance experts. That's what we specialize in. And some fun facts about us. So despite the pandemic last year, Nuera saw a 60% increase in year-over-year growth in written premium with renewals. And then Nuera is one of the top rated businesses on Google with over 1,300 five-star reviews in only 6 years of business. So that's pretty amazing.
That is pretty amazing. Thanks for that. And for those of you who are new to hearing about Nude Solutions and are with us for the first time, Nude Solutions was actually founded in 2018. We are a cloud-hosted SaaS offering. We are Alberta-based, and we're an InsurTech, and our name stands for New Digital Experience, which is exactly what we want to provide the insurance industry. I think you can see the play on words there. Works for both New Era and Nude Solutions. And we've had 2020 was a pretty exciting year for us. So we've actually grown throughout the pandemic. We hired 32 new team members in 2020 alone. So, last year was not only about, pushing a lot of stuff that we were working on out, but we grew and we're scaling. So very exciting year. We also signed 13 new partners in Q4 of 2020 alone. Yay. Super exciting because we were able to onboard 5 new partners, which basically brought Nude Solutions presence right from starting in BC all the way through to Ontario. So it's been a great year. We feel like we are, pushing forwards to achieve our goals. And it's exciting to have to be doing this, honestly. Next slide, I'm going to pass over to Courtney.
Okay, so this is, yeah. So Alex and I discussed about what's the most bizarre fun fact that we could throw at you guys for the prize. So the question is, what's the most popular day for Nuera customers to purchase their insurance? So you want to make sure to type your answer in the chat. So we have A, Friday, B, Tuesday, and C, Thursday.
Okay, well, we're going to leave that and we'll announce the correct answer near the end. Sorry, a little disclaimer. Casey, thank you for popping that in the chat. We will be recording this webinar, and that's just to make sure that those who couldn't attend, we can send the recording over to them. So hopefully no one has any issues with that, just popping that in there. So now let's get into the real meat and potatoes of why everyone, I'm sure, is here today. This next slide, can the Nuera team tell us a little bit, high level, what, a day is like at Nuera Insurance?
As the manager of Nuera Insurance, I love my job. It's really easy to use the online platform. Training new brokers is super simple. I always get feedback that of all the systems they've used in their careers, this is one of the easiest ones to learn. So as a manager, that alone makes my job really easy. During the pandemic, when they had to transition to work from home, it was pretty simple. There wasn't really much that had to change. Everything's online, so as long as they have a computer and an internet connection, they were good to go. And then the reporting is really easy. It's very dynamic, so there's lots of different things you can really get into. Learning about your customers and different lines of business, and it's really great as the manager to have that as opposed to the clunky old reporting in different broker management systems.
I've heard that before. So I'm not a licensed broker. I've only worked on one other VMS system, and it was on a DOS kind of setup. When you say reporting, like just for my guide, I guess, what is the process or a different process that you've done, and like, can you just compare?
Yeah, for example, something as simple as looking at the size of your book of business in a system such as Power broker, when you go in there, it's actually really a lot of steps. You have to really know what you're doing to extract that information. Whereas I find in the Nude platform, it's pretty simple. It's spelled out for you, so you can obtain different data very easily without needing to be an expert or have a lot of training.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Alex. How about from a live advisor's perspective? Again, high level, we're going to dig deeper into this as we go, but Courtney?
Yeah, you bet. So having been a live advisor, like Alex said, the platform makes it so easy. I've worked at other brokerages and I thought those systems were good, but when I came to Nuera, like you will not ever I will never leave Nuera because as a broker, it's so easy to use the platform and it makes our jobs that much better. So, that's because of the streamlined workflows. We're able to focus on our customers more, which I think is why we do so well on Google reviews, because we're not bogged down with the tedious work of using those other BMS programs. And then the other big thing is the automation that comes through. The system is so smart and does so much of the heavy lifting for the brokers that it just really helps us focus on what's a priority and not the day-to-day processing itself.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. And then as for business development, which is what I'm doing now, I love the system because I use a completely different portion of it called Podium. And so that's how I'm able to set up my partners. I'm able to track the amount of quotes that we're getting from those partners, the quotes that bind. I'm able to pull, those dynamic reports that Alex talked about. They're able to be filtered down to be specific to the different partners that we have. I'm able to manage different documents that the partners need. And the system is smart enough to send automated emails to those partners to update them weekly and monthly on their progress with us.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So now that we've kind of heard high level what, using the Nude Solutions platform is like, in the brokerage, maybe you can describe a little bit, what the customer experience is like for Nuera Insurance clients.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so for a customer, what we hear time and time again, and you can see it in the Google reviews, is how simple and convenient it is to use the system. So because of the technology, it's simplified. We ask as few questions as possible to get through the quoting process. The customers are able to connect with us on live chat or to phone with us anytime, and we're able to jump in where they left off in the quote and help them through and answer any of those questions that they have. It's super user-friendly to use the platform because, if they're in a quote and they're having questions, there's all of these helpful little buttons that they can press that will give a further explanation of what's liability insurance and why do you need it. It's efficient, again, because we've condensed the amount of questions that are asked in order to, ascertain eligibility for the policy. It takes minutes. A renter, we like to say, can take 7 minutes to complete and bind a policy with us. And then they get their policy documents seconds later. And I'm going to show you guys that in a second here. And then the last thing is the self-serve customer portal, which is amazing because customers can log on to their online account. They can manage their insurance policies. They can file a claim on there if they need to. They can get a copy of their policy documents if they lost the email. They can download the PDF. They can email it to themselves. And yeah, that's what they love about it. They can see when their next payment is scheduled for, so it's really handy.
Right. Did you want to show us a little bit about?
Yeah. Let me show you a quote that I've got.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen here with you guys. Just give me a second. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen.
I see it.
Awesome. Okay, so this is in our demo environment. So this isn't a real world quote here. So this is just a bunch of fake information. But so the first thing is, one of the advantages of us asking as few questions as possible is we start with this disclaimer page. The client needs to confirm, and this is just essentially making sure that it falls within our underwriting guidelines. So it can't be a seasonal, secondary, vacant, mobile, or modular home. You know, it can't be under construction or renovation. Ha ha, Andrew. And there can't be any farming operations on the property, and you can't run a business or a daycare out of the location. I will say my favorite question on a condo quote is if there's any farming operations. And as an advisor, when I would go through this with clients on the phone, I'd always laugh at that because what condo has farming operations? But it has to be there and it always makes them laugh. So we're going to go through. So this is all the information that we need from a client in order to, as far as their contact information. So we need their email, their legal first and last name, their date of birth, their gender, and then their phone number. And that's it. So we're going to click continue. So the next thing is here is we want to know what is the use of the property. So you just click this little drop down and it gives you the options. There's primary with a rental suite, or you rent it out on a long-term basis, or I rent from someone else, which would then pick you.
You can't see the drop downs, Courtney.
Oh, you can't see them? Oh,
no.
Weird.
It could be the way you're presenting or sharing the screen, but there are drop downs there. So
there are, yeah. Sorry, guys. We're going to leave it at primary residence. Then we want to ask who are the property owners. There's another drop down here. So there's an option. I'm sure you guys will be able to see it, but it's myself, one additional insured, and so on and so forth. So we'll just leave that there. So next, you would just select what province the client is in. So there's Alberta, BC, Manitoba, Ontario, or Saskatchewan. So we're going to put Alberta. Now, this is one of my favorite parts here because this address search bar is hooked up to Canada Post. And so when you start typing an address, it automatically pulls up any addresses in that specific province because you've already picked Alberta, and it shows you that address. So I've picked this one here in Calgary, and then it shows you on the map down here where the home is. So we're just going to continue. Next, we want to know about how many years insurance history has the client had. So if the client's doing the quote and they're like, well, what do you mean? Does my renter's insurance count? They can just click that little button there and it pops up. Can you see this pop up, Nancy? Yeah, okay, cool. So in this example, I've put that the client's had 10 years. Then we want to know how many years have they gone without a claim? Again, 10 years. And then we ask, has an insurance company ever denied, canceled, or non-renewed your property insurance in the past 5 years for any reason? So we're going to leave that at no. But if the client puts yes, it triggers a lockout, and then our advisors will follow up and go through that in detail with them. So we're going to continue through. Next is the build information about the home, and I'm sure Nancy can talk to this a little more, but this is hooked up to a third-party software. And so it pulls all of the build information on that house from that third company. And so it makes it really easy as a broker because it's usually really, really accurate. We still go through it all in detail with the client. You know, you want to confirm the year built, the square footage, all of this stuff. So in this example, I've gone through all of this with the client. And we've updated when the heating and the electrical and the plumbing were done. And we calculated, and the reconstruction cost was $660,000 for this home. And we're going to just continue through. So once you guys are up and running and you start having your own partnerships, this is where your clients would put the partner's referral code. And this is how it's going to go. So this is one of our partners. And then it says, congrats, because of your relationship with Lindsay, we've applied a discount to your policy. So clients love that. The next is the soft credit check. We always like to say that it's a soft credit check, not a hard check. So it does show up on the client's credit report, but it doesn't affect their credit score. So that's important. Then we want to know, does the property have a mortgage? So you have the option to put no or yes, or it has 2 or 3. So we're just going to put no there for now. And then we want to know if the client has an alarm system, because again, that's going to get them more discounts, right? And then here you would just select the date. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to see that. You see that, Nancy? Yeah. So for home and condo, we combined 30 days in advance, which is pretty standard in insurance. So we're going to pick May 27th. Yeah, we're just going to crunch the numbers. So at this point, it is connecting to the insurance company's APIs and it's pulling a quote in real time. So it's actually going to show what the real quote is. Now, because this is the demo environment, I don't know if it's totally accurate, like if that's actually what the rate is, but this just shows you. So this is the multi-line quotes. You can see that Exhale and SGI are both quoting on this property. And it's like, hey, why is Exhale so much lower than SGI? And you want to see a detailed comparison. If you click that button, then it shows you point by point what the difference is between them, right? So the personal property on Exhale is lower than SGI, but the single limit coverage is significantly higher than SGI. And it just shows you all of the different coverages. So let's say we want to go with Exhale. Hey, John. Okay. So this is where it gets really fun because this is where you can easily update the quote for the client. So again, if the client is on this themselves and they don't know what liability is, they just click that little icon and it shows what it covers, the broker recommendations. So we're going to go with 3 million. We will move the deductible to 1,000 and we're going to leave water protection on there because everyone should have water protection, in my opinion. And then all we're going to do is hit recalculate, but I just want to point out to you guys down here, if your client has a bicycle or jewelry or a boat or a trailer that they need to add on, it's super easy. You just click that option and then you just answer all of the questions and fill in the fields and select the deductible, and then it automatically adds that in. And when you recalculate, it'll show that on there. So why don't I add a jewelry? What do you think, Nancy? Should I do that? Show them how easy it is.
I would just continue to, I would just keep going. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I would love to, if anyone wants a demo, please feel free to reach out. I would be happy to provide you with one. We just have more stuff to get through. So
here you go. So that's the quote. So, and it gives you a quick snapshot of all of the coverages that the client is going to be getting on their policy. So let's say that this client is ready to go. Here we are at the checkout screen. They want to pay monthly with their credit card, and we're going to put that credit card information there, not my real credit card information. There we go. So we're going to buy that and we're going to bind it effective May 27th. Then they get the application for insurance, which is just a review of everything that was entered on the quote. And they scroll to the bottom, click here and accept. And then you guys are going to see our favorite part. And then I'm just going to show you guys the pocket really quickly. So where the client can see their policy documents, and then this part's done. Unless this takes too long.
no, we'll wait for it. Thank you. It's very interesting seeing a demo. I'm usually the one giving the demo. That was awesome. It's neat to hear how you speak to it from a broker's perspective who's actually using it. So
yeah, exactly. I would love to actually hear your demo.
I know. Demo session. Yeah, no, it's really neat to see.
And it just like shows as a broker how easy it is to use, right? Like if you think about another BMS program, how much time it would have taken to do all of that, right? Like literally the only part you guys missed seeing me do was type that in. That's it. Otherwise, that was a home quote. So, you know, I love the program.
I don't know if we're gonna get the confetti.
I know my internet is so slow, you guys. I'm sorry. It's if you want to move on, Nancy, we can. We don't have to wait here.
Okay, I just popped my slide back on, but again, thank you so much for doing that. Can you guys see my screen?
I was just going to say, Nancy, if people want to see Courtney do a home quote, they can go onto our Instagram account and just click IGTV.
There we go. Thanks for that, Greg. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, yep, sure can.
You can see it.
Okay, so I believe we left off here what the experience is like for the customer, which I think with your demo, Courtney, you were able to kind of show what that looks like for a customer purchasing, but also a little bit about what that looks like for the broker. So can we just take a deeper dive into what that looks like? What does the broker experience look like at Nuera Insurance?
Yeah, absolutely. So, the advantages for the platform is that there's the reduced double entry. There's no manual attaching of emails or phone calls. The system does that automatically. As you saw during the quote, it's super user friendly to navigate. And I mean, that's just through. That's not even using Bond, where we're going to be managing and servicing the client, the system is so automated that it does so much of the heavy lifting, like I said earlier. So you can process a higher volume of activities in a single day than you can with a traditional BMS, just because of that automation. So another advantage is we have full control of our billing. So because we're agency billed, there's no logging into the carrier platforms or making phone calls begging for forgiveness. We have complete control of the billing, when we're going to reschedule a payment for someone, and things like that. And then, as I mentioned, the platform, it picks up about 40% of the broker's workload. So it makes it a lot easier for you to get through a high volume of activities every day.
Awesome. Thank you. So this next slide, we're going to be sharing a little bit about what it's like, or some tips and tricks rather, for marketing a digital brokerage. We have Greg, who introduced himself earlier. Greg, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think you've done a phenomenal job, and you set a precedent on how to market a digital brokerage. So I know there are some people here who would like to know, or if you could share some of your tips and tricks on how to market a digital brokerage. How do you drive traffic to the website? How do you share?
Cool. Thanks, Nancy, for the kudos. It's an awesome introduction. And Nancy and I have worked together in the past, so she's pretty familiar with what I do. When I first started with Nuera back in 2019, January, we were only advertising on Google search. We had retention emails running for our customers that were built into our quoting and purchasing software, which is the Nude Solutions platform. We didn't have any social advertising. There was no marketing platform established to nurture lead prospects, and no integration with our quoting purchasing software for lead prospects. We had limited email marketing automations for our leads, and no retargeting people that visited our website on our advertising platforms. So my first tip as a digital brokerage is to implement tracking across all platforms to track customers and prospect behaviors. This will help you build a solid multi-channel marketing funnel that will help you drive new traffic to your website, nurture leads into customers, and retain your existing customer base. To get into more detail about that, setting up the environments you want to advertise in is the first thing you should do. In our case, it's Facebook and Instagram and Google. Google allows you to, advertise to people on YouTube as well. And place the tags from each of those platforms on your website. You can start retargeting people that are actually visiting your website at this point with ads to drive them to purchase. Additionally, you want to establish what marketing platform you want to integrate with your quoting and purchasing platform. In our case, we use HubSpot, and it's integrated with Nude Solutions platform. And work with your developers to integrate these platforms and track the key customer and prospect behaviors you feel are important to build more effective marketing campaigns and email journeys. Another thing to mention is the tags you place on your website from advertising platforms can help you reach new audiences that are similar to visitors on your website, which are essentially your competitors' visitors, to also target with advertising. And these audiences can go right across Canada, right across North America, right across the world. Once you're all set up and ready to go, testing content and value propositions in your campaigns is important. At Nuera, we have, our key kind of value propositions are, we have rewards for our customers, like 20% off a Garmin smartwatch, or, benefits at Good Life Fitness, junk removal, things like that. We donate $2, for every policy purchased on your behalf to a charity. We have our easy online experience, thanks to Nude Solutions, which allows you to do a policy in minutes. And we have real people on the other end of the line that are here 7 days a week. So when we went to market with all these propositions, we discovered that the thing that drove people to our website most, and that drove people to purchase most, was essentially the experience is going to be simple and painless, which is essentially our tagline. And there's real people on the other end of the line that care to, talk to you with live chat or to talk to you with on the phone or email. And we just put those people out there on videos and in our advertising. So when we discovered that, that's essentially what we drive home, and that's how we defined our brand. So if you go to market with all those propositions, you too can, figure out what people respond to. So yeah, once you have all of these things in place, nurturing leads into customers with automations and a multi-channel marketing funnel essentially is what our marketing boils down to. And then you can get into the nitty-gritty of retaining your customers. We do it, for example, with reminders of our rewards that are available to them, cross-selling, to tenant customers with to find out, when they're going to purchase home insurance and to keep reminding them that we have that service available. And then renewal reminders. And on top of that, you want to also every month do a dashboard or some kind of report that shows you what is and isn't working, so that you can fine tune and optimize your campaigns. And essentially just keep driving new prospects to quote in your website and retargeting them to purchase. More of your budget you want to put into driving new prospects because they're harder to convert, and you're trying to educating them on what you have available as an insurance company, and then less budget to actually get high intent users that are revisiting your website to purchase. But yeah, ultimately that boils down the main key points that we use to go to market and what I've discovered over the 2 years that I've worked with Nuera. As mentioned in the first slide, we've managed to grow by 60% in premium with written renewals. And a lot of that began when I first started marketing with the company. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
That was a lot. Thank you so much for sharing some of your tips and tricks. So next slide, we're going to move on, and it's really powerful slide here, Courtney. If you want to let us know what Nuera needed to power the platform.
Well, really what you need is an internet connection because it's hosted on the cloud there, and an up-to-date browser. So, my personal preference is Chrome. What you don't need, fax machines. You definitely don't need a fax machine, even though clients will ask you if you can fax them their documents. No, it's the 21st century. And you don't need any software installs because it's all cloud-based. It's all on the internet. You don't have to worry about downloading the software or having your IT administrator give you permission to install the software. It's much easier than that.
Thanks for that, Courtney. And the next slide here we have is what makes running a digital brokerage unique? What are the differences? You guys have both worked in other brokerages previously. What's some of the uniqueness that Nuera serves? And please tie it into the Nude Solution platform. I know there's a lot of unique and awesome things about your group, but
one thing I think people always find so interesting is that we talk to people literally across the world. I remember we had an advisor working on a Saturday, and he was talking to an existing client of ours who was stuck in Tel Aviv because of COVID, and he needed to make changes to his policy. And so he was connecting with us through our live chat option on our website. And so we were able to service that client even though he was across the globe. So that was pretty unique for insurance.
Yeah, for sure. That's some good customer service.
Yeah.
Great job.
Another thing is, again, with our live chat option, people are genuinely surprised that they're talking to a real person and not a bot. Like we always say, like, hey, I'm Courtney, a real person. And they're like, really? Are you? Yes, it really is me. Alex touched on this earlier, as well as like the team can be in different buildings because of the platform. It offers that flexibility. So when COVID hit, last year and everybody was forced to work from home, it was literally as simple for us as picking up our computer tower and our monitors and going home. And then that was it. It was like we were back in the office. It was so easy for us to transition, which I think is why, we had a really successful year last year in spite of COVID, was because of that. And then last but not least, the new platform supports Nuera's culture of teamwork because of the way that the activities and abeyances are set up in Bond. You can easily assign a personal activity that you have to a coworker or a teammate, because if you're, going on vacation or something like that, so you're able to transfer that over into their personal funnel with all of your notes attached, so they can literally pick up where you left off. And that just helps provide that 5-star service, right? It's very collaborative. Everybody sees what's in the general queue. So everybody is working together as a team to take activities out of there, to focus on servicing and sales. So yeah, it's a great platform. I can't say it enough, I promise.
So glad you're so excited about it. That's awesome. And you did mention, so that's how you guys leverage Bond then, is you allow all agents to see all the activities coming in, because there is the option now where, depending on how you want to set up your organization with the admin module, you can actually change that setting and just have like a manager assign different activities out. Yeah, so it's neat that you guys use it that way. I know, there's a lot of different ways that you can customize, to be honest, now with our admin module. And that is, we are an agile dev shop, so we are constantly iterating on that as well, just for our guests who aren't aware. But yeah, thanks for that. So let's summarize then. We are nearing the end, and I want to make sure there's time for our guests to ask them questions. So running an online brokerage can, number one, key takeaways here, guys: simplify the customer experience, streamline activities for brokers, and you can see how that promotes, a good culture and just less stressed out agents. Grow your business by reaching customers online. And most importantly, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to take your brokerage online. Not salesy, I hope. But Nude Solutions technology, we can help you get there. And we do have some friends who are some guests today, and I think they can attest to that. I sure hope so. But now I'm going to open up the floor to our guests. Guests, please pop in and ask us some questions, or ask Nuera some questions. Okay, while we're waiting for that to come in, I have a question. And it's going to make sense coming from me, but could you compare how Nude Solutions, matches up to maybe another BMS? Just like, I want to obviously keep it very, I'm just curious. I don't have that broker background. So, I often learn from people I get to talk to and demo for. So just curious to know, your opinion, I guess.
Yeah. One thing that I love is that you can see all of the client information. Let me back up. Sorry. When you're in the BMS, you can see so much more information in a single screen than you can in any other system I've used. So as an example, you can literally see the client's contact information, their date of birth, at the same time that you're, processing a payment change, right? And so it just makes it easier for you, because when you're confirming that date of birth with them, or whatever metric you want to use to confirm their identity, you can see it while you're all still on that same screen, and it saves so much time. It might, per transaction, it might only be a couple seconds here or there that you're saving, but when you add that up over the day, it makes a huge difference, which is why the system does so much of the heavy lifting.
Interesting that you say that. I've actually gotten feedback during a demo where someone had actually shared with me going, wow, I can actually see so much information. And I remember thinking to myself, that's the norm for me. Nude Solutions is the insurance EMS that I know. I can't say I know. So I miss those things sometimes. So yeah, now that's 2 times I've heard that. That's awesome. There were some, okay, I just feel bad here with the questions. So Essen and then Jordan, I saw you typing. Do we have any questions for the Nuera team? or should we just go on? If there's no questions, that's cool. If you do have questions and you're too shy to bring it up now, please feel free to email me and I will find your answers for you. I just don't know why the hand is still up here. Not quite sure. I don't want to be ignoring anyone. Is Nuera looking into insuring more complex risks like condominium property rather than individual units or homes?
Do you mean like a commercial condo insurance policy? I'm guessing that's probably what you mean. We do have a commercial producer now, and so we have been quoting some smaller stratas and commercial condo boards, I should say. But yeah, that's not our primary focus, but we definitely can.
Mm-hmm.
It is super helpful for property managers. That's one of the strongest partnerships I have, because we didn't even touch on that, but like for the partners, we have the document tracking. And so it sends a copy of the renter's policy documents when they use the referral code from their property manager. It sends a copy of their policy documents to the property manager. And so they love the platform for that, because they're getting those reports with the documents. The client has to consent to it. It's a part of the quoting process. And then they also get those monthly reports that show who of their tenants has bought a policy with us that month. So it's great for that.
Awesome. We've got Essen is just typing here. Do we have a winner, Casey, for the contest?
No,
I want you to
everyone got it wrong.
Oh no!
So guys, Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday, you scroll up, you see what you put in there, and the process of elimination will set you free. So the first person that puts in the right answer will get this prize. Who said Tuesday first?
Yeah,
Dylan!
Dylan.
Dylan! Good job, Dylan! It is Tuesday.
Yay.
Courtney, does that surprise a lot of people?
It does. And honestly, it's Tuesday at noon. So noon seems to be the busiest time in the day in general. And Tuesdays and Fridays, but Tuesday just slightly is a little more. And that's one of the things with the dynamic reporting, is that you can see that. Like it took Alex and I 2 seconds to find the report that shows transactions when they're purchased, when clients are quoting, and that's just another benefit. So there you go. Tuesdays at noon.
Yeah, very interesting, Nicole. I was surprised to see that too. But then when you think about it, like I wonder, Monday, no one ever wants to. You don't really get things done on Monday. It's kind of like setting up your week, right? So you don't want to do anything on a Monday. Maybe Tuesday's like, hey, I got to get it done. Start of the week. I don't want it to drag on or procrastinate. So Tuesday it is. Tuesday at lunch.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Everyone said Friday. Everyone thought it would be Friday.
Well, Thursdays too. Yep. So
yeah, that's true, right? You don't want to leave it for Friday. You want to be out the door partying.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Fridays are really busy. Like this Friday, it's Friday and it's month end. It is going to be busy in here, but just overall Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. So, for the prize, I guess, Dylan, I'll reach out. We've got a $50 Tango card, so you would be able to choose which restaurant or store you want $50 to. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Most especially, thank you, Nuera Insurance. Again, this is only our second webinar. We're just getting our feet wet. We have kind of on the Nude Solution side, we try and keep our head down as much as we can and just keep working on getting our technology, or constantly iterating on our technology for our partners. So we're stepping into some new grounds here with the webinar, but again, thank you all so much for being here and being a part of it. Thank you to our guests for being here. You guys are fun to have. So everybody have a great week from Nude Solutions and from Nuera Insurance. And we will catch you on our next webinar. Just keep an eye out on our LinkedIn because that's where we will announce most of these webinars. Right, Casey?
That's right. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. All right.
Congrats, Dylan.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.